Welcome to Veiled Narratives, where every heartbeat becomes a chapter, and every chapter reveals a destiny written in emotions, fate, and timeless romance. Today's tale begins with a single cake and ends with a life forever changed. Amelia stood at the bakery door with a white box in her hands, the scent of vanilla and strawberries dancing in the winter air. She worked hard, dreamed quietly, and believed that someday life would surprise her, in a way she couldn't yet imagine. Today it did. She checked the address again. House 47, Apartment D. Her fingers were cold, her breath pale against the January breeze. She knocked. The door opened, and instead of the elderly lady she expected, a tall man with dark hair, sharp eyes softened by warmth, and a surprised smile stood there. His presence felt like stepping into a quiet poem, unexpected yet overwhelming. "You ordered a strawberry velvet cake?" she asked, voice trembling slightly. His brows lifted. "No, but I'm suddenly very glad you knocked." Amelia flushed. "Oh, I'm so sorry. Wrong address." She clutched the cake and stepped back. "Wet," he said gently. "I'm Ethan." His voice carried something rare, kindness, curiosity, maybe destiny. She hesitated. "Amelia," she whispered, "since fate sent you here." He smiled softly. "Would you allow me to walk you to the correct house? It would be a tragedy for this cake not to reach its rightful owner." Amelia laughed, soft, sincere, like it came from a part of her heart she forgot existed. They walked, snowflakes falling like fragile confetti around them. Ethan spoke of his love for writing, poetry, and quiet mornings. She spoke of baking, dreams of owning her own cafe one day, and believing every flavor tells a story. When they reached the right house, he wasn't ready for goodbye. "Coffee?" he asked. "Not today, not tomorrow, but someday. I'd like to hear more about the stories you bake." Amelia held her breath. She didn't believe in accidents, only fate disguised as them. "Someday," she replied, her smile trembling with unexpected hope. But as she turned to leave, he gently placed a hand on her glove and whispered, "Don't let the universe wait too long this time." Her heart stilled. She gave him the cake box, though it wasn't his order, and said softly, "Then keep this, not as dessert but as a beginning." Their fingers brushed, a spark igniting like magic meeting reality. A wrong door. A quiet winter morning. A cake meant for someone else. Yet destiny chose him, and as she walked away, snow whispering beneath her footsteps, Amelia felt it. A life she never planned had just opened its door. Snowfall draped the city in a soft, moonlit glow, like diamonds scattered across velvet. Quiet, elegant, timeless. Amelia pressed the white cake box close to her chest, its golden ribbon catching tiny flakes of frost. Tonight, she wasn't simply delivering dessert, she was delivering a piece of herself, like she did with every creation. She moved through the upscale neighborhood with breath feathering in the cold, surrounded by mansions that whispered wealth, history, and stories she could only imagine. Marble steps, wrought iron balconies, lanterns glowing gold against winter's silver touch. It felt like walking through a European dream. Her bakery apron still tied around her, she looked beautifully out of place, humble yet graceful, a warm heartbeat in the middle of luxury. House 47. Apartment D. She read it again, fingers trembling, not from the cold, but something softer, fate brushing her shoulder. "Just one delivery left," she whispered, steadying herself. Then warmth returned, not from the cold air, but from hope. She knocked. The door opened instantly, as if someone had been waiting for her. And there he stood, not the elderly woman she expected, but a man, tall, poised, refined. His presence felt like expensive silk, quiet confidence, understated power. Midnight hair, warm eyes with stories hidden in them, and a jaw that could have been carved by an artist entrusted with sculpting beauty itself. He wasn't just handsome. He was striking. The kind of man luxury magazines failed to capture fully. A wool coat draped over his shoulders, black shirt open at the collar, wrist adorned with a vintage watch that whispered old money class. He looked like a winter prince in a modern world. For a breath, neither spoke. Their eyes held. Time paused. Then Amelia blinked, heartbeat loud in her ears. "You ordered a strawberry velvet celebration cake." His brow lifted with intriguing softness. "I didn't, but now I wish I had." His voice, smooth, deep, refined, felt like a warm fireplace in a world of cold marble. Amelia flushed. "Oh, I'm sorry. I must have the wrong house." She took a step back, nearly stumbling. The snow beneath her shoes crunched with a delicate hush, but he gently stepped forward, not imposing, not forceful, just present. "I'm Ethan." A simple introduction, yet spoken like poetry. She hesitated, fingers tightening around the cake box. "Amelia, A small smile touched his lips, elegant yet warm. Aria, he repeated softly, as if her name itself was a delicate dessert he wanted to savor. When she turned to leave, he asked quietly, "May I walk with you? At least until this cake finds its rightful celebration." His offer wasn't forward, it felt respectful, old-world chivalry wrapped in modern ease. She searched his face, there was no arrogance, only genuine curiosity and something else, interest, admiration, recognition. Snowflakes floated around them, catching in their hair like tiny stars as they walked side by side. Street lamps cast a golden glow on Ethan's face, making him look like a figure carved from light and winter. "What do you do?" he asked. "I bake," she said shyly, "trying to build my own cafe someday." His expression softened, impressed, not by success, but by dreams. "And the world needs more places where warmth is baked into every corner." She looked at him, stunned by the beauty of the sentiment. Most people saw her as just a delivery girl, but he saw vision, passion, soul. "And you?" she asked. "I write," he answered. "Words, stories, prayers disguised as poetry." Aria stopped for the smallest moment. Maybe it was fate laughing softly, aligning two hearts born from creativity, both longing for connection deeper than surface and status. Then gently they arrived at the right house, not grand like the previous one, but humble, cozy, alive with celebration noises inside. "Thank you," she whispered. "Don't thank me," he replied, voice low, eyes holding hers like a vow. Fate did most of the work. She handed him the cake box instead of ringing the bell. A symbol, a beginning. "This is yours now." His fingers brushed hers, warm, steady, electric, a spark, undeniable, breathtaking. "Then I'll accept it," he murmured, "as the sweetest accident of my life." The snowfall swirled around them like a blessing, silent, majestic, eternal. She walked away, but with every step she felt him watching, not possessively, but wonderingly, like witnessing the opening line of the greatest chapter of his life. And somewhere in that snowy night, Destiny leaned back, smiled, and whispered, "This is how love begins." Days passed, but Ethan's memory lingered like the gentle warmth of a candle that refused to fade, casting golden light even in absence. Aria returned to her world of flour, dusted mornings, sugar, kissed afternoons, and quiet dreams whispered into rising dough. Yet every time she folded vanilla into cream or tied a silk ribbon around a cake box, she felt it. His presence, his voice, his eyes that looked at her not like a stranger, but like a story he already believed in. She had convinced herself it was a moment destined to be brief, like snow melting at dawn, beautiful but meant to vanish, until Destiny returned, dressed in elegance. It was a calm winter evening when she heard the delicate chime of the bakery door. Aria looked up, expecting a regular customer. Instead, there he was, Ethan, in a tailored charcoal coat, cashmere scarf draped effortlessly around him. His aura was quiet luxury, not loud wealth, the kind that spoke in silk confidence instead of diamonds. For a moment, she forgot how to breathe. His gaze found hers instantly, and something gentle yet confident flickered there. Recognition mixed with longing, as though he had walked through the city just to find the person who felt like a breath of new life. "You gave me a cake," he said softly, his voice a refined whisper of warmth in the cozy bakery air. "I thought I should return the gesture." He placed a white box on the counter, sleek, ribboned in deep gold. Inside, she discovered the most exquisite chocolate, raspberry moss dessert she had ever seen, the kind usually plated for royal banquets, not sold casually. Her fingers hovered over it, startled. "You didn't have to." "I wanted to," he interrupted, his tone gentle but firm. "Some gifts aren't about obligation, they're acknowledgments of moments." Her heart fluttered, fragile yet bold. "You came all the way for that." Ethan leaned slightly closer, his presence intoxicating and comforting all at once. "I came all the way to see if fate would open the door a second time." The room felt smaller suddenly, not because of space, but because of closeness, connection, a gravity neither could deny. Outside, snow continued falling like the world itself was blessing them in silence. She tried to steady her voice. "Would you like coffee?" He smiled. A slow, warm curve that felt like sunrise breaking through winter clouds. "I would love that." Aria poured 2 cups, the rich aroma filling the bakery. She rarely had company in this intimate space where dreams lived in mixing bowls and whispered hopes. Yet with him, nothing felt out of place. They sat by the window, city lights glowing like scattered stardust outside. Ethan looked around, not at the small size or humble details, but with admiration, as if seeing palace walls. "This place feels alive," he murmured. Like every corner carries a story. Her cheeks warmed. No one ever spoke about her bakery like that. Maybe because it's all I have, she replied quietly. Every hope I couldn't speak out loud, I baked into something instead. Ethan watched her, not pitying, not amazed, respecting deeply. Greatness doesn't always arrive with noise, Aria. Sometimes it begins exactly like this, quiet, humble, and unstoppable. She looked up, startled by how easily he seemed to understand her heart. Their fingers brushed as she reached for her cup, an accidental touch, yet it sent warmth running through her veins like melted gold. "Tell me about you," she whispered. He clasped his cup gently. "I come from a world where everything looks perfect from the outside. Glass towers, polished shoes, sharp decisions. But it's lonely, Aria. Beauty without warmth is just furniture inside a cold mansion." Her breath caught. Wealth never impressed her. Depth did. "So you write to feel." His smile softened, vulnerability peeking through the elegance. "Yes, words save me. And meeting you," he paused, voice steady but tender, felt like one of those rare sentences destined to change the story. Her heart trembled. Not from fear, from recognition. Silence settled between them, soft as snowfall. No rush, no forced charm, only sincerity wrapped in winter magic. "Would you?" Ethan hesitated for once, his polished composure touched by nervous hope. "Allow me to take you somewhere. Somewhere that matches the beauty of this moment." Aria blinked. A date, a beginning," he corrected gently. "Wherever it leads, let it lead naturally." Her lips curved, shy yet luminous. "Yes." His relief was subtle but genuine, shining in his eyes like candlelight reflected in glass. At that moment, a gust of wind outside lifted snow into the air, swirling like a cosmic dance, romantic, delicate, unstoppable. He rose, placing a gloved hand on the counter. "Tomorrow evening," he said. "I'll pick you up, and if I say I'm nervous," she whispered, "then I'll say." His voice turned intimate, warm like silk against skin, that the most beautiful moments always begin with a trembling heart. As he left, the bell tinkled gently. Aria touched the dessert box, smiling as warmth blossomed inside her, no longer a quiet bakery girl dreaming alone. Tonight, fate hadn't just revisited. It took a seat, tasted her world, and whispered, "This isn't coincidence anymore. This is destiny unfolding in luxury, tenderness, and slow burn magic." Evening arrived like a whispered promise, soft, elegant, wrapped in gold and mystery. Aria stood in front of her mirror, breath trembling like the flame of a candle touched by hope. She wore a satin dress in the color of midnight skies, its fabric falling gracefully around her like liquid moonlight. Her hair flowed in delicate waves, a few strands playfully brushing her cheeks. She wasn't used to dressing like this. She wasn't used to being seen like this, but tonight felt different. Tonight felt destined. A gentle knock echoed. Her heart fluttered, soft, frantic, beautiful. She opened the door, and there he was. Ethan stood like the embodiment of winter royalty. Tailored black tux, silk body, coat draped effortlessly, his presence as refined as a masterpiece. His gaze held her instantly, stunned for a heartbeat before turning warm, deep, reverent. "You look." He paused, voice quiet, sincere, like a wish the night sky once made. Color rushed to her cheeks. "And you look like someone who stepped out of a dream I didn't know I was allowed to have." He offered his hand, not commanding but inviting, protective. "Ready." "Terrified," she whispered. He smiled, thumb brushing her knuckles softly. "Perfect. Only real moments begin with fear." A sleek black luxury car waited outside, driver holding the door. As she stepped in, she felt transported, not into wealth, but into a world where she mattered enough to be cherished. The city lights passed like falling constellations as they drove. Ethan didn't fill silence with noise. He let moments breathe, let emotions settle softly like snowflakes on glass. "Aria," he said quietly, "I wanted tonight to feel unforgettable." "It already does," she whispered. The car stopped in front of an elegant rooftop restaurant overlooking the skyline. Stone arches, crystal lanterns, and soft string lights that glimmered like captured stars. Violins played somewhere in the distance, weaving emotion into the air. A private table waited, draped in ivory, candles dripping gold, roses breathing perfume into the night. A waiter pulled out her chair, but Ethan held her hand till she sat, as though releasing her carelessly would be a sin. The world narrowed to the glow between them. "You brought me somewhere magical," she murmured. "No," he replied, eyes never leaving hers. "You are the magic. I only provided a backdrop worthy of you." Her chest tightened. She had been admired before, complimented before, but never seen. Never like this. Soft jazz drifted, plates arrived like art, pearls of caviar, rose petal salad, gold-dusted fondue. Each detail whispered luxury yet felt tender, thoughtful, intimate. He poured sparkling water into crystal glasses, raising his in a gentle toast. To unexpected doors and wrong addresses, she smiled. They laughed softly, their laughter blending like harmony. Between bites and gentle glances they spoke, not about trivialities but truths, dreams, fears. The ache of wanting more than life had offered so far. She spoke of her cafe vision, a place where strangers feel like home, where love smells like warm bread and hope tastes like cinnamon mornings. Ethan listened like she was reciting poetry. "You're building happiness," he murmured, "not success. That's rare. And you?" she asked softly. He leaned back, eyes reflecting candlelight like molten amber. "I built everything except peace. Everyone admires me. No one knows me." Her hand moved instinctively, covering his. "I want to know you." Time paused. The city hushed. And in that moment, he looked at her the way sunrise looks at night before dissolving it into gold. A string quartet began playing a soft waltz. Ethan stood, offering his hand once more. "Dance with me." "I don't know how," she whispered. "Then I will lead," he promised. He pulled her close, warmth meeting her softness, his hand at her waist like he was afraid she might disappear. They moved slowly, gently, her heartbeat sensing with his in a rhythm older than music itself. Snow began to fall again, light, graceful, a soft halo around them. The world felt painted by romance itself. Her head rested lightly against his chest, and he whispered against her hair. "Sometimes life doesn't introduce us to the right person at the right time, it simply brings us the right soul, when our hearts are finally quiet enough to hear destiny." She lifted her gaze. "And what is destiny whispering now?" His thumb brushed her cheek, tender yet reverent. "That you are not a chapter area." His voice, low and sincere, vibrated against her heart. "You are the book." Her breath trembled. "And you, a man who has finally found home." He leaned in, not rushing, not claiming, just breathing the same air, so close she could feel the warmth of possibility between their lips. He didn't kiss her. Not yet. He wanted this moment to belong to reverence, not haste. Tonight wasn't about taking. It was about becoming. And under the snowfall, wrapped in music, candlelight, and hope, they danced like two hearts learning the language of eternity. The night after their enchanted dinner unfolded like silk, smooth and shimmering with unspoken emotion. But destiny is never satisfied with just one magical moment. It always asks for more, always leans closer, always tests how deeply two hearts are willing to fall. The next evening, Ethan invited Amelia again. This time not to a lavish restaurant or a glittering rooftop, but to a world he kept hidden from everyone. "Come," he had said softly on the phone. "I want to show you something real." A car arrived, elegant but understated, pearlescent gray, quiet luxury, the kind that whispered class instead of shouting wealth. Amelia wore a soft champagne-colored dress, hair in a loose bun with wisps framing her face like poetry undone. She held her breath as she stepped inside. Ethan was waiting at a private estate nestled just outside the city, a place where tall iron gates opened to reveal sprawling gardens dusted with snow, lanterns glowing amber along cobblestone paths. Not opulent, timeless. The house itself wasn't a mansion, it was something rarer, a sanctuary of glass walls and warm wood, soft lights inside glowing like a living heartbeat, the kind of place someone built to feel safe, not to be admired. He met her at the entrance, no formal tux tonight, just a cashmere sweater in deep charcoal, sleeves rolled slightly. His presence relaxed yet irresistibly elegant. "You're here," he breathed as though relieved, as though the world made sense again just by her arrival. "And you brought me somewhere beautiful," she whispered. "I didn't bring you to beauty," he replied gently. "You brought it here." Her heart fluttered. Again. Always. They walked through the warm, lit foyer into a sitting room with floor, to ceiling windows revealing gardens kissed by moonlight. A grand piano sat in the corner, crystal vases with white lilies filling the room with soft perfume. Amelia touched the piano gently. "You play?" He nodded. "Sometimes music says what words can't." "Play for me," she asked softly. Instead of answering, he simply sat, fingers brushing the keys like touching the surface of quiet water. And then music. Slow, rich, emotional. Notes floating like whispers of a memory never shared, rising and falling with longing and tenderness. Amelia felt her breath catch, chest tightening as though each note reached inside her and rewrote something fragile. He finished the piece, but before silence could settle, Her voice trembled out. Why did you bring me here? Ethan stood, walking toward her slowly, each step deliberate, as if afraid to shatter the magic around them. Because the world sees me as someone powerful, he said quietly. Someone untouchable, composed, complete. He stopped inches away, eyes searching hers like he needed her to know truth. But here, I am simply a man who feels too deeply and hides it too well. Aria's breath shook. She reached out instinctively, fingertips brushing his sleeve, not pulling him, just anchoring herself to reality. And why show me this side? She whispered. Because from the moment you knocked on that wrong door, he murmured, voice like velvet over fire. I felt something I've never felt before. Her heart drummed. What did you feel? He gazed at her with raw honesty. Peace and danger, both at once. Danger, she exhaled. The kind that happens when you realize your life was quiet until someone arrives and makes you never want quiet again. The air thickened, warm, breathless, trembling with closeness. His hand lifted, hovering just near her cheek, not touching yet, asking silently. She leaned in, just slightly. Permission given without words. His fingertips traced her jaw with reverence, like she was something sacred, something breakable and precious and his heart's undoing. Aria, he whispered, her name a confession. I am trying very hard not to fall too fast. Her voice barely existed. What if I already am? His chest rose sharply. For a moment everything stilled. The world outside could have frozen, snow hanging mid-air, time itself holding its breath. Slowly, he dipped his forehead to hers, breath mingling with hers, warmth shared in the smallest distance imaginable. Then we fall, he breathed, but we fall slowly, beautifully, without rushing destiny. Their lips hovered a breath apart, near enough to burn, far enough to ache. Not kissing was its own kind of intimacy, its own fire. I don't want to lose myself, she whispered. You won't? He murmured. You'll find more of you. Her fingers curled around his shirt lightly. And you. I've been lost for years, he answered. Losing myself in you feels like coming home. Her eyes glistened. You speak like you write, and you feel like you dream. Silence wrapped them again, but it wasn't empty. It was full, heavy, alive. Then he gently stepped back, not pulling away, but preserving something sacred. Tonight, he said, voice steady but eyes burning, I wanted to show you truth, not touch. That will come when wanting becomes inevitable. Aria exhaled shakily, mesmerized. He offered his hand, not to claim but to guide. Come, he said softly. There is more beauty I want you to see. And she followed, heart trembling, soul opening, knowing she had stepped not into a romance, but into a destiny shaped by tenderness, depth, and a love meant to grow like stars do, quietly, endlessly, and with light that never dies. Morning arrived like a golden ribbon, soft sunlight gliding across Aria's bakery windows. Flower dust floated in the quiet air like snow suspended in time, and the smell of vanilla lingered like a tender memory. Yet today, her world felt different, fuller, warmer, as though her heart had been wrapped in silk overnight. Every thought of Ethan brushed her like a fingertip across her pulse, light, deliberate, impossible to ignore. She didn't just remember him, she felt him. In every heartbeat, in every breath, as though his presence had become a gentle thread woven into her days. She was icing a cake when the bell above the door chimed. That soft sound she heard 1,000 times, yet today it stirred butterflies. She turned, already sensing it wasn't a customer. And there he stood. Ethan wasn't dressed in luxury this time. No tailored tux, no silk scarf, just a simple fine knit sweater, sleeves rolled, soft charcoal trousers, quiet elegance, effortless magnetism. He held a small bouquet of white peonies and pale blush roses, petals flushed like shy confessions. Her breath caught. Ethan. He set the flowers down, eyes tracing her face the way one absorbs a masterpiece, slow, reverent, grateful it exists. I couldn't wait, he said softly. I told destiny we'd move slowly. But my heart, his voice faltered slightly, rare vulnerability touching it. My heart doesn't listen as well as I do. Aria's fingers tightened around the piping bag, chest fluttering with emotion. Then what are you here to do? She whispered. Make a choice, he replied. A choice to not leave beauty waiting. He stepped closer, slow like sunrise spreading across winter skies. Last night, he said quietly, I showed you where I hide my soul. And I saw it, she breathed. Yes, he whispered. And you didn't run. Why would I? Because real connection is terrifying. She set the piping bag down, flower dusting her fingertips like soft stars. I've spent my life baking sweetness for others. Maybe I finally get to taste some. His eyes softened, warm, molten, reverent. You deserve sweetness that belongs to you. Silence stretched, thick with meaning and longing. He took her flower, dusted hand gently, lifting it as though it were made of porcelain kissed by moonlight. I want to know your world, he murmured, not just the elegant places I can take you. I want to stand where your dreams were born, in sugar, in simplicity, in heart. Her voice trembled. And I want to see your world too, the quiet behind the luxury, the man, not the mystery. His breath caught, just slightly, but enough to reveal emotion deep beneath his refined composure. Then today, he breathed, we trade worlds. He glanced around the bakery with admiration, like he was in a cathedral instead of a humble shop. Teach me, he said, voice warm, how to bake something. Her eyes widened, then softened with a smile she couldn't hold back. You baking? If it brings me closer to you, I'd burn every batch with pride. Soft laughter escaped her, light, musical, intimate. Apron, he nodded solemnly. Apron. She tied one around him, a simple cream cloth, but when her fingers brushed the back of his neck to knot it, his breath stilled. Their closeness sparked like silk brushing fire. His lashes lifted, eyes searching hers. Aria, he whispered, voice low, unguarded. Her heart thudded. Yes! If I kiss you now, he murmured, I won't ever pretend this was accidental. Her pulse raced. Then don't pretend. For a second, one single precious second, they stood suspended between choice and destiny. The air shimmered with anticipation, sweeter than sugar, thicker than longing. Then gently, like reverence made flesh, he cupped her face, brushing a thumb over her cheek, leaving a faint trail of flour like a promise of forever. He didn't rush, he didn't claim. He simply leaned in, letting his forehead rest against hers, breathing her in as though she was the air he had been longing for all his life. Tell me, he whispered, voice trembling like emotion held too long, is this the moment? Her fingers curled into his shirt, pulling him just a breath closer. It's the only moment, she whispered back. He kissed her, slow, tender, like snow melting under sunrise, like the first sip of warmth after years of cold. A kiss that wasn't hunger, it was recognition, completion. Her world shifted, his world softened, and between them the universe exhaled, satisfied. When their lips parted, he stayed close, whispering against her mouth, you changed my life with the sweetest mistake. And you changed mine by answering the wrong door. She breathed. He smiled, a smile that held future devotion, destiny. Then let's never correct it. He kissed her again, deeper now, soft passion wrapped in reverence, while flower dust floated around them like white petals blessing a love written by fate, kissed by luxury, and sealed in sugar, sweet eternity. And in that little bakery beneath soft morning light, two souls didn't just meet, they chose each other. Not by accident, not by chance, but by a love that arrived gently, grew slowly, and bloomed beautifully, like the most delicate cake, crafted with patience, passion, and forever in mind. Sometimes life writes its most beautiful chapters when we're lost, unsure, and standing at the doorstep of the unexpected. Amelia walked into Adrian's world holding nothing more than a cake box and a heart full of dreams, and walked out holding the love of a lifetime. Their story wasn't born from grand plans or perfect timing, but from a simple mistake, a wrong door, a moment destiny had been saving for them. From the quiet corners of his marbled mansion to the soft glow of city lights they shared, Amelia and Adrian discovered that love doesn't knock. It arrives uninvited, wrapped in fate, and sealed with serendipity. Amelia learned that true love isn't found in luxury. It's found in moments of sincerity, in whispered dreams, in fingers intertwined across candlelit tables, in souls that recognize each other before the mind fully understands. Adrian, a man surrounded by wealth yet starved of warmth, discovered that the richest treasure he could ever possess was the woman who walked into his life by accident and stayed by choice. Together they built something wealth could never buy, a love story whispered by stars carved in time and celebrated in every heartbeat. So here's to wrong addresses, to unexpected meetings, to hearts that collide in divine timing, and to the sweetest truth of all. Sometimes the wrong delivery leads us to the right forever. Welcome to a world where fate writes in gold, where every moment is soft, romantic, and eternal, where a single knock on the wrong door became the beginning of their fairy tale. And with that, our tale comes to a close, but their love, it lives on, rich, timeless and beautifully unforgettable.